Hey, are you aware that you can actually contact Philly 311 through Facebook Messenger? I mean, we used to call back in the day 311 for phone numbers. But did you know that they had a lot more information that could help you in your real estate endeavors? Like they could point you in the right direction rather than you sitting here having to run and research and Google. Just hit them up. Philly 311. I mean, I'm not here. This is not a commercial for Philly 311, but it's been useful to me in my real estate journey. And for those of you who kind of get stumped and you're not sure which direction to take, why don't you give them a try? They have ample amounts of city resources. You can ask the question. You can even, call and just get your questions answered quickly. They have a plethora of information for city resources. I mean, we're talking about from animal control to water services to energy resources. They can be your go-to resource. You don't always have to spend a ton of money on everything. The city has resources out there for you. You need to get familiar about what's at your beck and call, what you're paying your taxes for, and utilizing those resources before you start spending money. I know in the past I've spent tons of money out of my pocket, but these days I'm working smarter, not harder. My first go-to, Philly 311. If they don't have an answer to me, then I might Google it, or I might YouTube it, or I might, go to other things in my toolbox to figure it out for myself. But stop just throwing all your money away. Stop just believing everything that everybody tells you and start doing the research for yourself. I know I talk about doing your due diligence all the time, but there's other ways to get the job done. And so I just wanted to share that little tidbit with you because that's a quick and easy way to get your questions answered, especially if you are a social media buff. If you're constantly on social media, if you're checking your Facebook page constantly, if you're on Instagram, then you can go on over to Messenger, hit up Philly 311 and figure out how they can quickly solve your problem, or they can quickly answer you. A lot of times the responses are fairly quickly. I've messaged them about things like trash, about potentials for raccoon situations that I've noticed in the neighborhood, about potholes. I've sent pictures, and what gave me this idea was because when I lived in Virginia and the DMV, they love their roads. They take good care of their roads in Virginia and in the DC area, at least where I was living. Needless to say, I remember the mayor saying, if you see a pothole, take a picture of it and send it to us and we'll address it immediately. And this was right after we had a severe winter storm. And so I said, well, if DC is doing it, then why wouldn't Philly do it? Why shouldn't, they do it? And so I started, when I seen potholes, because we have too many of them in Philly, I would report them. I take a picture, send it to Philly 311. They give me a case number, and that's it. Now, that doesn't mean that Philly addressed it immediately like the DMV area did, but they definitely got the case number. And eventually, when I went past those same areas, a lot of the times those holes were addressed. I've done it at my grandmother's house, at my ex's house. If a pothole was about to ruin my car, I'm reporting it. I mean, hey, it's about preservation. It's about maintenance. It's about making sure that we're doing our due diligence to save ourselves a few bucks. And so with that being said, I just wanted to make sure I came to you and gave you some tidbits on how you can find inexpensive ways to maintain your property or help your grandparents or loved ones maintain theirs. Thank you for listening. You have an amazing day on purpose.